9 News Plus weather, sponsored by Carrier Colorado. The future of home comfort is here.
Hey, thanks for joining us here on 9 News Plus on this Thursday morning. I'm 9 News meteorologist Chris Bianchi with a look at your Colorado weather forecast. Now, after a beautiful day yesterday, we get a few storms back in the picture for today and this afternoon. Mostly isolated stuff. This is certainly not going to be what we had back on Tuesday when we dealt with some of the most intense and extreme severe weather in eastern Colorado that we've seen in some maybe in some cases here in decades, and we'll get into that here in just a second. But for today, isolated storms for this afternoon between about 2 and 6 for the Denver metro area. I think what we're mainly looking at is the threat for some gusty winds in a few spots. But before we get into the full forecast, I still want to take another look back at what we saw back on Tuesday, because we've got some new information in and some more context to add to what was an exceptional day for severe weather here across eastern Colorado. So there's a look at that tornado. Now, we didn't have this yesterday, but this was rated last night as an EF3 tornado, and this is significant for a number of different reasons. But the Yuma County tornado rated an EF3 by the National Weather Service. It's a preliminary rating, which means this could change. Most likely this would get bumped up a little bit, but most likely this will stay in EF3 with maximum winds estimated to be about 150 miles an hour with that. This was on the ground for about 25 minutes, traveled a little over 6 miles, and was about 160 yards wide. So that's almost 2 football fields wide with this particular tornado. Now, a couple things about this. One, it is not just you. It has been a wild year in terms of tornadoes and severe weather for us here across Colorado. This was our second EF3 tornado so far this year here in Colorado. We have not seen 2+ EF3 tornadoes in Colorado since 1993. We've also had 76 preliminary reports of tornadoes in Colorado so far this year. We average about 50 a year, and that is our most tornado reports since the Storm Prediction Center started keeping tabs on those tornadoes, which started back in 2000. So long story short here, folks, this is our busiest year for tornadoes, without a doubt, in decades, and also our busiest year in terms of strong tornadoes. And EF3 is considered to be a strong tornado. This has been a very, very busy year on a number of different fronts for us here in Colorado. Now, the good news is, today, I know we have the chance for some storms. I'll mention those here in just a second. We're not looking at anything like what we've had here over the last few weeks, over the last few months. And this is a look up at Loveland Ski Area, where things looking pretty tranquil up there into the high country right now. So those top line takeaways: isolated storms 2 to 6 p.m. today. Most of us will most likely not see a storm this afternoon. Maybe some clouds work their way on in, but that's pretty much all she wrote. Warmer today as well, about 5 to 7 degrees warmer than yesterday. And then the weekend, especially Sunday at this point, looks pretty stormy. A sheet operator showing us right now a fairly quiet scene across the state, but if you look into southwestern Colorado, you might see those first little lurks of clouds and showers. That is some monsoonal shower and thunderstorm activity that's going to try and push its way into the region later on this afternoon and this evening. So for this afternoon, we'll see some of those showers and storms pop on up for us here across the state, and those showers and storms will push their way on in from the south and west. And we'll see, again, mostly isolated action, hit or miss. I would put it about a 20 to maybe 30% chance at a storm in the Denver area, probably closer to about 20%. Into the mountains, about a 20-30% chance at a storm, and a bit higher as you head into the southwestern mountains, where, by the way, we need the moisture here into the southwestern mountains. Hopefully we can get some of that there into the drought-stricken part of the state, and again, the part of Colorado that needs that moisture the most. Rainfall will come on down for us hopefully tonight there into the San Juans and the San Cristo Mountains of southwestern and south central Colorado. Closer look in here at the metro area. A few showers and storms will flare on up this afternoon, as I mentioned, between about 2 and 6 p.m. Probably on the front end of that window. By about 5:30, 6 o'clock, we should be done with any of those last shower and storm chances, and we should clear it out pretty quickly. Temperatures already a fair bit warmer than this time yesterday. We're already into the mid-80s here in Denver. A few spots on the eastern plains getting close to 90 degrees. A lot of 60s and 70s into the high country. It's not particularly humid out there this morning either, so that tells us we're probably looking at a lot of high-based showers and thunderstorms. And what I mean by that, those storms really form in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere, and means that we'll end up seeing more wind than anything else, because as that rain evaporates towards the surface, it creates a sinking motion to the air, and that accelerates those winds. So that's one of those things we'll be watching for this afternoon and this evening. Highs today around 90 degrees, isolated storms 2 to 6 p.m., partly sunny skies, and those temps in the low to maybe mid-90s for us. A few spots in the southeast plains. Those usual hot spots may get close to 100 degrees in a few locations for tonight. It's comfortable. Again, the showers and storms should clear on up pretty quickly, so low temperatures drop down in the low 60s with only a few clouds out there. For tomorrow, we've got some isolated storms around yet again. Probably a higher chance in the mountains tomorrow and a slightly lower chance for a storm tomorrow here along the Front Range compared to today. I think we're going to probably end up staying dry here along the Front Range for tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Highs tomorrow, upper 80s, low 90s for us with some of those isolated storms around. And for tomorrow, again, isolated storm, hit or miss, better chance into the high country for a storm tomorrow compared to today. Lower chance in the Denver area for a storm tomorrow compared to today. I'd call it maybe a 10, maybe 20% chance of a storm here in Denver, and things clear on up. It should be a pretty nice night tomorrow overall. Saturday, pretty much the same as today and tomorrow. Next 3 days, pretty much the same setup with temperatures around 90 and isolated storms in the afternoon. Sunday, though, we get a pretty strong front that's going to push its way through the region, and I think that will knock back those temperatures a fair bit and also lead to some fairly widespread showers and storms for Sunday and into Monday. So again, Sunday and Monday, something to watch for is that potential for some more widespread showers and storms, and maybe some severe storms mixed in there as well. But then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, ridge high pressure builds back in for next week, and that'll dry things on up considerably. But speaking of dry, unfortunately, we've got a new drought monitor updated, and that has expanded drought conditions across the western and south central mountains of Colorado, where we're now looking at a moderate drought encompassing the western slope, much of the San Juans, as well as the San Luis Valley. Alamosa, for example, it is your driest summer to date on records. Very, very dry for us in the southwestern mountains. Very different picture compared to the Front Range, where Denver, Boulder, Fort Collins, and Colorado Springs all have had more rain so far this year than Seattle and Portland, Oregon. So, to give you context, I mean, it has been just a nonstop bucket of water for us here into the Front Range in eastern Colorado. Probably don't have to tell you that. And at least of late, for the last 2-3 months or so, very different picture in western and southern Colorado, where again it's been bone dry for the last couple of months dating back to the start of June. So hopefully it gives you a good idea about what to expect. Again, top line takeaways: isolated storms today, most of those pretty early, 2 to 6 p.m. Most of you will not see a storm. Where you do, maybe some gusty winds, maybe a little bit of small hail and some quick downpours, and that should pretty much do it. Then as we get into tomorrow, same as today, with maybe more coverage in the mountains. Similar for Saturday, more widespread showers and storms for Sunday and Monday. So if you're planning ahead, outdoor activities, make them for Saturday as opposed to Sunday. So again, hopefully it gives you a good idea about what to expect. If not, meteorologist Lauren Robinson will have an update for you coming up at 9 News at noon and at 2 p.m. right here on 9 News Plus. Then we'll have Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin in at 4 and 5. And then we got meteorologist Danielle Grant in at 6, 9, 10 tonight on the 9 News family of networks. Once again, I'm 9 News meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Thanks for joining us here on 9 News Plus. Have a great rest of your Thursday.